Hey everyone, welcome to math class. Today we're working on 13.9. So today we're talking about fractions. So identify and represent 1/2, 1/3, and 1/4, 2/3, and 3/4 in geometrical shapes. Holy cow, that's a mouthful. Don't worry, this will be easy by the time we're done with this. We're also going to understand what a numerator and a denominator signify. So our vocabulary words are fractions, unit fraction, numerator, and denominator. So right now I just need you to get out a piece of paper and follow along. The numerator is the top number and the denominator is the bottom number of a fraction. So if I have the number 2/3, that would mean that my fraction, we say it like this, 2/3, and the denominator is how many pieces there are in all and how many pieces are colored in. So if I made, I'm going to make a circle just to show you what 2/3 means. And I'm going to draw my very best to make sure that they're equal parts. So if I had my, there we go. So this is pretend like it's exactly equal, but it would be 3 parts, if you notice. The 3 is how many parts, like there's 1, there's 2, there's 3. And then the numerator, the top number right here, shows you how many pieces to color in. So in this case, I'm going to color in 2 pieces. So I would color in this one, and I, of course, would make it look really nice to show that was just 1/3. That's one of the 3, one piece. Now I have to do another piece right here because I have to color in 2. So it's kind of like we would say the bottom number, I'm going to delete this so it doesn't get confusing. The bottom number means how many pieces in the denominator is like in all. And the numerator is how many pieces we color. All right, so the numerator is how many we color, the denominator is how many in all. We're going to talk about halves. So oftentimes we say a half, and in a fraction, the way that looks is by saying 1/2. That means a half. So if I look at my circle here, that means I have, if you think about it, my denominator, remember, means how many pieces I have, which is 2. We don't say 1/2s. That's weird. We don't say 1/2. We say 1/2 whenever we see this fraction. That means I have 2 pieces, and whatever I'm using, I would have one of them. So if I said color in 1/2, that would mean I'd have to color in one of these pieces. Oops, I got out of line. I'd have to color in one of these pieces because that's 1 out of half. Or if a lot of times we don't always color halves, we also just say I ate half. So if I ate half of a pizza, I ate one whole half, it'd be gone. That's what a half is. One of these 2 pieces. Now if we talk about, well, same thing, 1/2, or if I had a candy bar, I would have to slice it right down the middle. And this goes back to thinking of equal shares, making sure that they're equal. So if I said, I would like to give half of this candy bar, that would mean I would give this to somebody else. And that would be the half. I'm kind of bad at coloring on the computer, but this is 1/2, and then 1/2 is for you. Same if we talked about the circles, 1/2 for me, 1/2 for you. So 1 is the number I'd write right here, 1/2. All right, let's talk about thirds. Thirds is taking the number, so that means if I said thirds, I'd need to make sure that my 3 is in the denominator because that's how many pieces I have in all. Triangles are really tricky to make thirds, but we always have to meet in the middle. Only reason I know this is because I've done this a lot of times. So that's how I knew how to split that equally into 3 parts. They all have to be equal. So if I said 1/3, I would color in one of the 3 pieces. And that is 1/3. It's just coloring in one of them. If I colored in 2 of them, then I would have to change this number right here to a 2. And I would say that has to be a 2, so that would be 2/3. And if I colored in a whole nother one, I'd have the whole thing colored in, right? Yeah, that's right. Then I would have 3/3. And anytime you have the same number on the top and the same number on the bottom, it equals the whole thing. 3 out of 3 pieces. We're not getting that into detail with this, and this is just an introductory lesson. So that means, don't worry, you don't have to master fractions before 2nd grade is over. It's just to help you so that next year you will know and say, oh my gosh, I remember doing that last year with Miss Miller. So 1/3 is one of the pieces. If I, oopsies, if I showed you this, I took my circle and I magically put it into 3 equal pieces. So one of these pieces would count for our 1/3. And then in fourths, that means I'd have to split this square into 4 pieces. So now I would have to split it evenly. We already did it for you. I split it into 4 equal pieces. So if I needed the fraction 1/4, I would need to make sure to color in one of those 4 pieces. So remember, the denominator means the bottom number. That means how many pieces in all. If I go back to my beginning slide, I said that the denominator means how many pieces are in the whole, how many pieces are in it. And then the numerator is how many we color in or give away or eat or whatever it is. So it's taking one whole item and splitting it up. Now remember, a fraction is only like one thing split up into smaller parts. All right, so if I would like you guys to get out this page, and it is 443 in your activity book. So pause the video now so that we can practice in our activity book. All right. What it wants us to do is shade unit fractions. Shade the fractions for the shapes. So this is asking you to, all of these, remember we don't say 1/2, we don't say 1/2, we say 1/2. That means there's, all of these shapes have 2 pieces. Let's make sure. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. There we go, perfect. So now, I'm going to erase those. Now I know that every single one of these fractions is split into 2. That's what that denominator stands for. Now it's asking us to color one of those 2. So you're going to very carefully, I'm going to try my best to make it look really nice, because if we go out of lines, it's a little hard to tell. So I'm going to color in 1/2 of this one, and same with all of the shapes on this page. I'm sorry, not on this page, all of these shapes. So 1/2 can also look like a circle, like this. And I'm going to nicely color it in. You could use markers or colored pencils. You could use pencils. I please ask that you never use pen when you do math, because if you make a mistake, you can't erase it. But this time we're just coloring. So I'm coloring in one of the 2 pieces. I'm going to let you pause the video and finish this now. All right, hopefully you have the same as me. Now, it doesn't matter if you colored in the opposite side of me, as long as you don't have them both colored in, because otherwise that would be the whole thing. So make sure that if you have, it's okay if you colored in this side of the circle or this side of the shape or this side of the triangle. It doesn't matter. As long as it's just one of them, it's okay. All right, I'm going to talk about thirds. So thirds, remember the denominator means how many pieces it's one square is split into. So this is just one whole piece, and it's split into smaller pieces. So if I color in one of them, I would get 1/3. I like to think of it like the whole thing is a candy bar or something, and I'm splitting it up. So I'm going to color this. So now I colored in 1/3. Now it wants me to color in 1/3. This one's kind of tricky, so I'll do this one. 1/3 is just one of these pieces. If you notice, all of these pieces are all equal the whole time. Otherwise, it would not be fair, just like I would say splitting something up if it's not fair if you don't have the equal amounts. I'm going to have you pause and color in the rest of these shapes. So click pause now. All right, hopefully you colored in one piece of each of these. And the last but not least, today we are going to talk about 1/4. Now, I hope you get the hang of this because it's the same pattern again. You're going to color in how many? One, because the numerator tells you how many you're going to color in. You're going to color in just one of these pieces, because there's 4 total pieces, and we say 1/4 when we say 4 of a fraction. So I'm going to have you finish this page. Now that's it for the lesson today. We're going to work on the next pages on Thursday. So you don't need to do any more of the work except for making sure you get online and do your seesaw activity when you do the same thing that we just did today. So have a great rest of your day, and I will see you on Thursday.